Hi guys, welcome back to Texas Family Life. I wanted to share with y'all today the curriculum that we use to homeschool our children. We start at age 3 with the homeschooling. This is my 6-year-old doing her writing work for the day. And she's using a Catholic speller. Here's our 5-year-old doing her writing for the day. And we're not super strict on, where you have to sit and things like that all the time. If they are actually doing their work, then they can sit wherever they'd like. I like to get them to start on their work while I make breakfast. Isadora's on some medicine that she has to wait 30 minutes before she eats first thing in the morning, so then they have some time to work on their work. Edith is our youngest homeschooler right now. She is 3, and she's learning about her numbers. So today, we've started this book pretty recently, and she's learning the number 2, and she's doing pretty well. All 3 of my girls so far have been ready to start school at about age 3. Edith will be 4 in February, and she seems like maybe she's not as ready to start school as the other 2, but she's finally starting to catch on and get excited about being part of it. Isadora is already doing this level math at age 6. She's done very well at math, which I'm so happy about because I am not the best at math. Eventually, I'm sure I will have to get them a tutor or do some of the online learning. But it's still very basic and easy to walk her through and help her do it. But she's been really enjoying it. Of course, the kids love it when they understand the problems. So the program that I use is Catholic Heritage Curricula. I looked around a lot trying to find what was right for us. And there are 3 basic homeschooling. There's real rigorous, there's free homeschooling, or it's called unschooling. So the kids kind of teach it themselves. And then there's in the middle. And I'd say this is about in the middle. The load is very light, but it covers everything that you need to cover. So if you go to their website, you can find the kit for any grade level that you need. This is an example of the pre-K kit. So you can order all together, or you can order individually what you think you need. They've got numbers and shapes. And what I love about this program is it really incorporates God into their work, just lightly enough that it's not overwhelming. But at the same time, I'll show you in a book later, but it talks about Adam and Eve, and it talks about, J for Jesus and things like that. And I just love being able to bring our faith into our teaching. For Catholic homeschool curricula, you do not have to pay a fee to be part of their little club or their membership or whatever it is. All you're paying for is books, and then you've got all the resources you need. I've very much enjoyed it. It'll show you some material here that is not necessarily in the kit, and you can buy separately. Like their math books, I buy separate. And they tell you what books they recommend. We've got this Building Good Character book. Oh, I love it. But it has for Edith's age 3 or 4, it says, I'm happy when I obey right away, cheerfully all the way. And then you can check it off when they do well. And so you can click on every single one of the books that this program offers, and they will give you a sample, which is great for me because I'm never unaware of what I'm ordering. I know fully what it is, and it's just the best. So if you can go to chcweb.com, they will send you a free catalog in the mail as well, which I love the ones that you can actually touch with your hands and flip through. These are all their free resources. They have language arts and American history and how to draw, coloring, vocations, science, religion, and just so many free helpful things that you don't have to pay for. And you don't even have to, like I said, you don't have to have a membership to look at these things. You can just go to their page and use it. This is another example of a kit. This is a 2nd grade, which is what About Izzy is. They've got little stories for little folk, bigger stories for little folk, devotional stories. And these are a lot of good ones that, it teaches them a lesson, like no stealing and treating others how we want to be treated and things like that. And so I'm using a lot of these books that you see here. And there are a few, you could put it all together yourself. So if they're not quite ready for the level math, then that's fine. At home, I do a lot of things on my own, just out of my own creativity, for lack of a better word. Like, as Catholics, there are 4 pillars of the Catholic Church, so the girls know a song that goes with that to learn, all the 7 sacraments and the Apostles' Creed and the 10 Commandments and the Lord's Prayer, and those are just important. We do composition writing. This is from the book as well, and so they can get check marks when they do well. They have chore cards that come from, the Catholic Heritage Curriculum. And unfortunately, I don't have a neat way to store all their books. This is it. I just put them here. One day, I'd like to get better at organizing. This is Mabel's book. This is another one that you can just get anywhere, but it starts out very basic all the way to teaching money. And Mabel really enjoys it. And I really let my kids go at their own pace. Some days they want to do 2 or 3 pages. Some days they don't want to do any, so I make them do it at least 1. And usually once they do the 1 page, they're like, can I do more? And I'm very big on trying not to let them get burnt out, because if they do too many, then, they won't want to do any other subjects. And I really wanted to provide y'all with some live examples of them doing work. Like Mabel here is adding math. Yes, she still uses her fingers right now, and that's okay. But she's 5 years old, and she's able to do, simple addition, 3 plus 3, 3 plus 2, 2 plus 1. And this is a fun way for them to learn. Is Mount Rushmore in the Rocky Mountains? Yeah?
Here.
What is that?
Right. Mount
And where are the Rocky Mountains?
Right here.
Mabel, do you remember which mountain is the tallest one in America, in North America?
Right.
Mount
McKinley.
Very good. And where's that? Can you show me? Do you remember? It's up near Alaska. It's in Alaska. Show me where Alaska is.
Up here.
Very good. All right, Isadora, do you remember where the shrine of Saint Anne is? Yep. Okay. And what country is that in? Is that America? Is No.
Canada.
Very good, Mabel.
And you're gonna get that.
All right, Isadora, do you remember where?
This is Mexico. My house in Mexico.
Good. Mexico, America, Canada. All right. Okay. The Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, the Gulf of Mexico. What's that up there?
Arctic Ocean.
The program we use also has some sites it recommends for showing kids things. I found this Grand Canyon thing just by going to DuckDuckGo and Googling the Grand Canyon, and this video came up. I've used this book with all of my 3-year-olds. So I used this one with Edith so far, and it's just the very first book I get them. You can get it at Amazon, Walmart, anywhere you can find it. It's like the big preschool book is what it's called. So she can color, she learns her shapes, she learns how to draw and trace and, get her handwriting under control without making it boring. She's learning her letters, and she traced that all by herself. I was very impressed. And then kind of like problem solving, finding their way through a maze. And I just highly, highly, highly recommend this as the very first book you get for your child. We love it. This is another one I highly recommend. Teach your child to read in 100 Easy Lessons. I used this on Isadora, who is now an avid reader at age 6. And I'm using it currently for Mabel. This is another one I start at about age 4. And by age 5, we have finished the book. And sometimes, it goes a little behind, but it's so simple. An ant can eat. It makes the A little because you don't really say the A. Seed. That seed is in the mud. And then they have a picture to look forward to see. And then you can ask your child questions about the picture. But as you go on, it gets a little bit more difficult. The story becomes longer. And they're expected to read, the whole thing. And then it ends with, this is the end. It also has writing prompts. So you, as a parent, read what's in pink. So you say, you're going to write the letters I write. Here's what you're going to write. And then you write it. Isadora is receiving her first communion this year. So this is another book that I got from Catholic Heritage Curriculum. It has all sorts of stories and ways to bring them to the mindset of what the First Communion is, what it entails, that it is the body and blood of Christ. And then it comes with this really neat packet. It has these very beautiful little paragraphs that talk about, have you been angry? Have I been obedient? And it gives you examples of how you've been and just really prepares the kid for their First Communion. It gives them St. Michael prayer and all sorts of things. The pictures are beautiful. And this is like the sacred vessels search. So they cut them out and they match it with the thing, like the patine is the plate that's held underneath the Eucharist when the Eucharist is being administered to the lay persons. And so they hold that one under your mouth, the patine. And it's just really neat to get them more familiar with the church, why we do what we do, and just a wonderful way to involve them in the faith. And then there's your basic everyday things, like this is our science. We do behold and see, exploring nature, and it gets them, outside and excited about what's outside growing. We talked about oak leaves and deciduous plants and evergreens, so they looked for leaves, and it's fall right now, so they found some of the most beautiful oak leaves, and they got real excited. Next week, they tell you like day 1, day 2, day 3. One day you go on a nature walk. The next day you really research the subjects like blue jays, which we have a lot of blue jays around here. And so it's something easy for them to be like, oh, look, I learned that in my book. This little stories for little folks, this is the first year I'm using it this year. It's a phonics reader. It's another alternative to the Learn to Read in 100 Easy Lessons. I'm trying this one with Mabel. She doesn't love reading, but I think she's going to be the kind that loves math and not so much reading, where I'm the opposite, where I love reading and not so much math. But so this is a little booklet that comes with it. You cut it out and fold it up like a book. And then these are the words that they're going to be looking for while they read. And it's just so simple, but it's got the pictures. And now they read the little story. And then at the very end, it's called a word game. And they're supposed to come up with words that end in A-T, O-N, A-D. And there's just so much to it. There's so many stories. So we're really liking that one so far. And they show you what you need to do to be ready. Now remember that homeschooling can be anything you want it to be. When Isadora was little, this is what I did with her. Just so basic at age 3. I came up with these own cards and colored them. And she loved it. I hope that this has helped you find what you want to do with your child's curriculum. If you're going to be homeschooling, be looking for what you want to do. And don't do a homeschool program just because everyone else is doing it. This one that I'm doing, I really don't know anybody else personally that's doing this program. But for us, it works and I love it. And then if you try something and it doesn't work for you, it is okay to move on and try a different program. Just remember, I don't know about you, but I've never heard someone say that they regret homeschooling their child. But I have heard people say they regret sending their children to public school. I was homeschooled for 1 year personally when I was growing up, and I loved it. I wish I had been homeschooled all my life. Well, thank you guys again for coming and listening to me talk. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please do like and subscribe, and I hope you have a blessed rest of your week. Bye, guys.